Our next one will be then Friday, May 30th, and that'll be at Central Market, again from 2 to 6. And then Friday, June 20th, again Central Market, 2 to 6. And then Saturday at Seven Sisters.
Hi, welcome back to Community Calendar. I'm Erica Gilsdorf, and I'm with Stephanie Baker with the Lakes Crisis and Resource Center. How are you, Stephanie?
Great. Thank you for having me.
Yes, well, we love having you because we love what you do for our community. So I love inviting you back. And what do you want to share with everybody this week?
So today I'm here to talk about our Lakes Area Kinship Program and our huge need for mentors for youth in the community.
Okay, so what is that about?
So Lakes Area Kinship is a mentoring program for school-age kids, any age, as long as they're in school. And we match a volunteer mentor with one kid in the community. They hang out a couple times a month, really make a difference in the life of that kid.
Okay, and what are some of the things that you do with kids? What are some of the things people do?
So I like to match kids with mentors where they'll kind of have similar likes and dislikes. So, the activities that a mentor is already doing, going to sports games, planting a garden, going fishing, anything that the mentor likes to do, you can just bring a kid with you and enjoy sharing that love of your hobbies with the kid.
Oh, that's nice. That is interesting. Okay, and so tell us, why do people need a mentor? Why the Kinship Program?
Sure. So every kid, and adults too, needs at least 5 supportive people in their life. And a lot of times they have great families at home. They have supportive parents. They might have grandmas and grandpas. But it's important for kids to have that supportive person or people outside of their family too. And we're coming to the end of school year, so in the summer times a lot of kids lose those extra supports that they get in the school. They lose those coaches, teachers, counselors. In the summertime, it might be a really lonely time for kids.
Oh, I never thought of that. Yeah. And I think that's awesome. We did a video on the Kinship Program, and it's amazing the bond that people get with each other, the kids and the adults.
Right, and oftentimes the kids are coming from homes where they have siblings. They might not get a lot of that one-on-one time with a special adult. So the relationships that they form with their mentors are amazing. Most of the mentors become like family members to the families.
Yeah, and I love that. And it's like I just visited my son in Portland, and he's like, hey, are you okay if we just hang around the house and do gardening stuff? And I'm like, that was the best. Just like gardening, making a sandwich, going for a walk. It was just like, okay, this is just real connection. So it doesn't always have to be, we're going to go to the movie, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. So it doesn't have to be a money thing, right, for people?
Absolutely. We actually encourage mentors not to spend a lot of money because the relationship that they're forming with this child is way more important than the big fancy activities.
Right, right. So tell me a little bit too, what's anything going on with the Crisis Center? How are things going over there?
So we're busy as usual. We just finished up our big annual banquet. So we're kind of, going downhill after that a little bit, but we're always busy, always getting clients coming in the door that need assistance. Our Positive Connections supervised visitation program is getting busy again. Our shelter is full most of the time for domestic violence survivors.
Wow. And and I don't know if you know this, but I volunteered with the Crisis Center for quite a while. And I did 2 things. I worked with the kids for that, and it was it was just so good to be with some kids that just need a little extra something, a little extra love and talking, and kids just wanted to talk. I was like, wow, they really want to talk. And then also with the domestic violence being the phone call, and that was also like people were panicked and like, what do I do? And then another time I had a situation where somebody called me and left a threatening voice, at my work. And I went to the Crisis Center.
Yeah.
And the Crisis Center took took me seriously. It's like, okay, what are you, why are you worried? I'm like, this was really scary. And then they called the police. The police tracked the number. They went to the house. They found who did it. And I was like, I would have been scared. Like, who is this person that just called and left a threatening call? But the crisis center was like there and handled it. And then I found out who it was, and it was just somebody being just mad about something. And I was like, but I would have lived with fear. Like, how do you know who I am?
Right.
So they had the resources to be like, we'll just take care of this. Yeah.
Even if you're not the victim of domestic violence, anytime you're a victim of any crime, it can be really scary and confusing, and you really don't know what to do or where to turn. So yeah, just give us a call. Our advocates are there to even just give you advice. It doesn't have to be domestic violence. It doesn't have to be, a really serious crime. Anything that you need help with, we're here.
Yeah, and the staff is so nice. I just remember feeling so like welcome. And the other thing is I learned while working there is all the tips that you give to empower and strengthen people. So there was one woman who I knew was being abused. Well, she told me, and I had learned tips from what to say and how to guide her to your crisis center and things like you were telling people, like, you know what, leave a spare set of keys somewhere, have boots outside the door because this person would have to leave really quickly. It's like, so this does happen. And we did a series with the Crisis Center years ago with video. And I think the most powerful thing was people saw, we filmed it purposely in town. And people were like, oh, that's our town. It's like, yes, this stuff is happening in our town. It's real, and these are people. We blurred out their faces, but it was a real shock for people to think that this was all happening right here. Yeah, so.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think we're a pretty small town, and that kind of stuff only happens in the big cities, but it doesn't. It happens everywhere to everyone from all walks of life. I feel like every person has some connection to domestic violence or any other general crime. Everyone knows someone that's been affected.
Yeah, and in this video, I had two women in particular. One was a young girl, like a college kid, and the other one was a beautiful middle-aged woman. And they both said in their separate interviews, I looked at myself in the mirror and I was like, who am I? Why? I'm not somebody that would be abused. And they were like, who is this person? So
Right.
it can happen sneakily and you would never think, so it's not like, oh, only these people have this, or only, we interviewed a man too who, had domestic violence. So, yeah, so thanks for being in our community. Yeah, and thanks for everybody who supports. I know you get a lot of support from the community
Yes.
for the Crisis
sure.
Center. Yeah.
I think the Detroit Lakes community as a whole is so supportive. And part of me feels if we were in another town or another community, we maybe wouldn't be able to reach as many people as we do, just because we get so much support from this community.
I know, and we had the Boys and Girls Club in, they get support. So we are a wonderful community. So thanks everybody out there, right?
Yes.
And thanks for coming in. And
Yeah.
okay, so how do people get involved before we go?
So if someone wants to sign up to be a mentor in Kinship, they can go to our website, lakescrisis.com/kinship, or they can just give me a call at 218-847-8572.
All right. And so really check into it. I love what you said, Stephanie, about you don't have to you can do what you like to do already and introduce a child to that. If maybe they've never gone fishing, but you like to fish, introduce it to them.
Yeah, absolutely. And the nice thing about our Kinship program is that families can mentor together. So if you're a husband, wife, or a couple that want to mentor a child together, I can set that up. If you have kids and want to bring along an extra kid with you when you do fun stuff, I can set that up too. So we like to get the whole family involved because the more supportive adults a kid has in their life, the better.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much, Stephanie. Appreciate
thank
you coming
you.
in, and thank you all. Stay tuned for more Community Calendar.